This is Jennifer Hale, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. And, I should go.
The tangents as we continue all the way to episode 201 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. And it's been a long time since we've done this, but I've got a bunch of names written on some pieces of paper. Who we gonna draw? I come from the Sean Collins School of Podcasting, singing made-up songs. Something. Anyway, welcome everyone.
And a prestigious school it is.
It is. Welcome everyone to this week's episode
I was doing the jazz hands while you were...
Y'all are doing like can dancing, on your end of the week. Anyway, welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week on the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Bethlehem.
This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City.
This is Sally from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Apparently we reached 200 and we're like, yay, so prestigious. And now it's, we've gone off the deep end apparently. We've peaked and...
Halloween is coming.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. It was a full moon the other night, so...
That too.
Ah, yes. See, there you go.
So, you never know what's going to happen. It's been very Halloweenish the last few days outside, so... Anyway... We've got some news and some other fun things to talk about. So let's jump straight into it with the news. And first up, some trailers, including, as we alluded to last week, because it was a very substantiated rumor, pretty much fact. But we got our first trailer for Captain Marvel. Everybody go, yay! Do Kermit the Frog, flailing arm.
And the CGI, Nick Fury.
Yeah, and Phil Coulson.
Yeah.
I love like the poor shot was falling into Blockbuster.
Yes.
That
like,
laughing so
just
hard.
in case you haven't been paying attention and did not realize that this is set in the 90s.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I guess these days, if you put a Blockbuster and a Toys R Us in your movie, it's not modern day.
Yep.
Although I didn't see a Toys R Us, but it could possibly be in there. I don't know, but
Because when I saw her crash into Blockbuster, I was thinking, how many people are actually going to go, what's a Blockbuster?
Yeah.
I was brave, and I went to the comments, and people were saying, why did she go into a Blockbuster? Like, what's a Blockbuster? I'm like, you guys, no, don't do this.
Oh, you young people.
it wasn't that long ago.
Once upon a time, Netflix was a place you could walk to, go in the door, and say, I would like to watch that, please. And then you would take it home and watch it, and then you'd have to give it back.
Oh,
or you'd have to look behind the boxes and hope that the tape you wanted was there and nobody accidentally pulled the bait and switch.
Yeah.
That happened.
So a slight tangent. So they recently redid the Sailor Moon manga from the 90s, and in the translator notes in the back, where usually they explain like Japanese idioms that don't quite translate from English very well. There's a section there because one of the points involves the bad guys infiltrating a video rental store and brainwashing all the people that watch the videos. So they say, and I pulled it up on my Twitter, rent a video. Long ago, before the magic of Netflix, before even DVDs, mankind recorded movies on little boxes with magnetic tape inside called video cassettes, or videos for short. These videos could only be viewed with an ancient machine called a VCR. And to obtain more videos, one had to set out into a brick-and-mortar shops to buy them. Alternatively, if someone wanted to watch a video cassette but not necessarily own it, they could go to a rental shop where a customer could borrow a video for a fee. because one had to have a physical cassette in order to view the videos contained thereon. If all cassettes for a certain movie were already rented out, a customer looking for that movie would be out of luck, and their only recourse would be to choose a different movie or drive across town to a different rental shop.
I love it that at the same time.
Yes.
I'm like, I
And then
said,
kind rewind.
yes. And when I retweeted that with my caption was, in my old lady voice, in my day we had to leave the house and go to a rental store to watch movies. Uphill in the snow, both ways. None of this newfangled Netflix crap. So anyway, so that
That's hilarious.
Also, if you didn't have a VCR, you could rent a VCR for a fee as well.
Yes, that was a thing. So there,
And
we feel
you could rent video games.
Blockbuster in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for this. I'm not.
Yeah, it's exciting at the same time, kind of sad that Captain Marvel setting is going to be considered retro. Like, no,
Yeah.
I remember that. That's not retro. If I remember it.
I know it's like my childhood isn't retro. No, that's
No.
Well, you think about it. 1990s is going to be 30 years ago pretty soon, and I'm like,
I
this is
know.
how my
I
parents.
don't want to think about it.
shush.
I don't want to think about it.
Sorry, Brittany. So anyway, yeah, Captain Marvel set in the 90s because there's a blockbuster,
Yeah. Among other things.
among other things. But that was the main one. That was the first one you saw.
Yeah. All the cars. All the vehicles,
Yeah.
too.
The cars, a Nick Fury with two eyes
Yeah.
instead of just one,
And hair.
and hair. Yep.
Coulson with hair. A lot of hair.
Yep.
Oh, it looks good. It looks really good. I'm excited. So, she looks awesome. I'm very excited to see what they, how everything plays out, because she's going to be kind of a big deal in Avengers 4, so.
And I know nothing about Captain Marvel. I've never read the comics. I'm going into this blind, but just going by the trailer, it kind of seems like they're it's sort of a similar plot as Star-Lord.
Kind of.
He was born on Earth and goes out into space and comes back. So maybe, although she seems like she doesn't know quite as much about Earth, so she
there's
probably
a bit
was
of
taken away a lot
amnesia.
younger.
Yeah. No, it's while she was in the Air Force.
Ah,
There's that one shot
okay,
in the
well,
trailer
I
where she's in her plane in space, and because they've not really given like a plot synopsis or anything, because Marvel not gonna let spoilers out, but the theory is that she'll be in the Air Force, she'll be using some sort of fancy aircraft, ends up in low orbit or whatever, gets involved with the Kree. They take her. She ends up imbued with these abilities, becomes part of the Star Force, which is her in the uniform with the green and the black with Jude Law and all that. And then eventually she finds her way back to Earth, but in the process of her gaining her powers, she forgot about her life on Earth, then essentially.
Oh.
So.
I don't know. I'm trying to decide if I like that better than my theory or not, but it doesn't matter.
Yes. But then it's in the middle of the Kree-Skrull War, and the Skrulls have the ability to shapeshift, which is probably why she looks like she's punching a little old lady, because it's probably actually a Skrull. So.
Yeah, that moment was, I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I hope that really is a Skrull.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because if she punches
Like,
at a real old lady, that would be bad. So.
Yeah. Like that's an interesting thing to put in your trailer.
Yeah.
Not my first choice, but okay.
Yep.
But
So.
I don't know. It's only the first trailer, so
Yeah.
There's got to be a logical explanation a la Will Smith and Men in Black.
Probably.
The testing scene.
Probably.
can you explain
We'll find out in
why
March.
Tiffany had to die?
Yes.
We'll find out in about 5.5 months, so.
Oh my goodness.
So, hopefully, now that we have the Captain Marvel, our first Captain Marvel trailer, that the title for Avengers 4 is not too far behind, especially considering how much the Russo brothers have been trolling us on social media. So, thank you, Joe and Anthony. Anyway.
Well, I guess, you know, if you can have fun with it, why wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I'm sure Kevin Feige is like, yeah, whatever, just don't spoil anything, so.
Don't make me have to do what I had to do to Mark and Tom.
Yeah, exactly. Don't make me have to take you out in the back and give you 20 lashes and then
take your phone away.
Yeah. Then it's like Men in Black and you use the blinky thing.
With the stick too much.
Yeah. Then you'd wish you had the Men in Black blinky thing. So.
Yes.
You know, they could incorporate that in because Chris Hemsworth is going to be in the new Men in Black. So, you know, there's potential for crossover there. Anyway, so, that's a discussion for another time. All right. Other trailer, new Doctor Who trailer for Series 11. So, yeah.
I'll admit, I like this trailer better than I like the Captain Marvel one. It actually feels like it's Doctor Who. For all the changes they've made, and we discussed this last week, it's basically a blank slate that they're working from. New cast, new showrunner, new everything. And I'm like, and I love the bit where she goes, you know, I'm the doctor when things need fixing. I'm the one to fix it. I know I'm not getting it right, but that's the basic idea. And I'm like, okay, you know, you're in essence, you're still the doctor, which every doctor, every time they make a changeover, every doctor needs that moment where you go, okay, we're on board here. You're the new one. Let's go.
Yeah. It's like I've got a time machine. I've got 2 hearts. Let's go save some people and fix things. So, it's like that's all you really need.
Yeah. I do like that they're, you know, still sticking to the formula, even if they're putting a new coat of paint on it.
Yep. The TARDIS is going to get a new wallpaper. Desktop theme. Desktop theme. Just the Doctor's getting a new desktop theme, too. It's like getting a new case for your cell phone, you know?
Yeah. Happens every couple of years.
New ringtone,
3 to 4 years.
You know.
Oh, that made me think as I was watching the thing, I was like, I'm so glad they let her keep her accent, because I don't know how other people are. I like the northern accent. It's just...
Me too.
It's comforting, I guess. It's comforting, it's cute, it's fun, it's different.
Hey, the Doctor hasn't had a northern accent in a while, so...
And to quote the Ninth Doctor, everybody has a north.
Exactly. I was a little upset. I mean, when I heard Jenna Coleman speak, like, in an interview in her regular Yorkshire accent, I was like, dang it, let her keep her accent. It's cute. It fits her. It suits her.
I don't get why they have them change their accents in the show.
It goes back to, like, years and years ago. The BBC was really snobby and were like, oh, you have to speak with a London accent because that's the posh, proper sort of accent. So, you know, everybody, you know, no matter where you're from, you have to speak like this.
The Queen's English.
That got branded as the British accent, even though there are a ton of different accents all across England and all of Great Britain.
It's just like
so
the U.S.
Like, okay, well, we know what the British accent sounds like, or, you know, the London English accent sounds like. Give us something else. Come on. Show us some variety. Good grief, guys.
And then we got Peter Capaldi.
And we got Peter Capaldi with his Scottish. Yep.
I can
I was
complain
so
about
sad
things.
when I realized that David Tennant's real accent was Scottish. I'm like, I would have loved to talk the Scottish.
Brittany, I hate to break it to you. His name is actually not David Tennant either.
I know it's not. I forgot what it is, but I know his actual...
It's McDonald.
Yes.
Although I think legally he's changed his name now. But
he was not born David Tennant.
Yeah. But, yeah. I mean, the same thing with David Tennant. His Scottish accent suits him better than the English, than the London one.
I think it depends on the role. So, but anyway, Doctor Who.
Doctor Who's coming back. The trailer looks great.
Less than 2 weeks.
So crossing my fingers. Yeah. So crossing my fingers, the new season will live up to the promise.
Yes. I'm just ready for Who to come back. I've been desperate. I need me some Who.
Yes.
Although the Twitch marathon did help. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yep. All right, moving on to awards season, as we were talking about awards actually when we recorded last week, and while we were recording, the Emmy Awards were happening, which was kind of weird that they were happening on a Monday, not a Sunday, but anyway. So they happened. Not a whole lot of things we care about one, but a few. So, outstanding lead actress in a drama series, Claire Foy as Queen Elizabeth II for The Crown. So, yay for her. Outstanding drama series, Game of Thrones, and outstanding supporting actor in a drama series, Peter Dinklage for Game of Thrones. So, I think Game of Thrones also took home a bunch of technical awards too, like costuming and special effects and writing and camera work and that sort of thing. So
I have a question.
Which, when you're spending $10 million an episode, why not?
Yeah,
exactly. Like
so I have a question. This might be a little nitpick, but so Peter Dinklage is considered a supporting actor.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the main actor or actress in Game of Thrones? Is there one, or is it just a big ensemble?
Yeah, I always assumed it was an ensemble cast.
Yeah, so in that case, how do they decide, or just everybody supporting? And
I think everybody's just supporting, and then multiple people get nominated sometimes. So.
All right.
Because if you look at the nominations, especially if Game of Thrones is involved, you will usually see multiple people from the same show. Especially with shows like that and Westworld and some others where it tends to be...
Isn't there a category for...
Well, there is for an ensemble, but the individuals can get nominated, assuming they submit something to be considered for nomination. So these aren't like People's Choice where fans just vote. Things like the Emmys and the Golden Globes and stuff, you actually have to submit to the committee a tape of whatever you did that was eligible. And then from there, they will pick the nominees. So either the actor themselves or their agent or management or whoever can do it on their behalf. But yeah, they can submit. And I would say, considering the storyline this past season, that Tyrion had some pretty good stuff to do last season. So I think in this case, I think it's well deserved for Peter there. So. Tyrion had a lot of work last season, so he was wheeling and dealing. So, speaking of more awards, more locally, as I said last week, the Indie Star Best of Indie Awards, they announced their winners last Tuesday, of course, after we recorded. And none of the people that we were pushing for won, unfortunately. So, although Gen Con did win Best Convention, so.
Yay! That one almost seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I would have preferred PopCon, but because it was actually conceived in Indiana and put together by people from Indiana. Gen Con is a transplant, but what are you gonna do? It's a big money maker for the city, so I guess. It is kind of a big to-do.
Yeah.
For the city of Indianapolis. So. And Disney really wants to make sure that people are going to buy into their streaming service whenever they launch it. Because they have announced that several of the MCU characters that have not yet gotten their own movie instead are going to get their own TV series on Disney's streaming service, starting with Tom Hiddleston as Loki and Elizabeth Olsen as the Scarlet Witch.
Huh. I am generally curious about this. Like, I love those two, but like, I can't see like a show. Like, I can't think of a premise for them.
Well, they're going to, in theory, take place pre-Infinity War, considering we know how both of those characters ended up. So these could be,
yeah.
Pre even they appeared in the movies. So
would Scarlet Witch need Quicksilver? Maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So, and these are going to be produced by the Marvel Studios, not Marvel Television. So it's not the same people that do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Netflix series. So these will definitely tie in more to the movies.
So do we know for sure the Netflix ones are staying on Netflix, or are they going to the
We don't know yet.
No one knows.
No one knows.
Okay. I hadn't heard, but then I heard this news, and so that made me think.
Yeah. So, right now all they've said is the series would run about 6 to 8 episodes. And that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
we'll see how that goes down.
All those people lamenting about Loki's fate in Infinity War. Fear not, Hiddleston will be back. You can get your Loki fix.
All will be well.
All will be well. So, definitely for the characters that could not necessarily carry their own movie, this kind of makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
So but this means maybe we could finally get some more Hulk stuff, because we're never going to get a Hulk standalone movie with Mark Ruffalo. Unfortunately, someone owns the distribution rights to Hulk films, so they can't do a Hulk movie, but they could do a TV series.
That's a good way to get around it.
Yep. So, all right, Disney, you sold me. Take my money. Not that I needed my arm twisted a whole lot, but
I was going to say, don't you give them a lot of your money already?
Yeah, kind of, probably, yes.
I wonder if this means I'll actually get my wish that I've been wanting ever. Get a mini-series of The Warrior 3 and Lady Sif. Ooh. I've been wanting that since the first store.
Yeah.
Could be.
I want that too. That's the thing, TV, as we've learned over the last, 10 years, I guess, TV, you can do a lot more than movies can. So, when you say, oh, I want a fill-in-the-blank movie, then you're like, but that's only 2.5 hours. How are you going to cram in, whether it's a book series or comic books or something else? But yeah, TV can actually do a lot of that much better than a movie can.
I mean, I still love movies, but I think I tend to go towards, wanting something as a TV show nowadays than a movie.
Yeah.
Especially, like you were saying with the books. I think I've been liking more TV show-based books than, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And it's you don't have to leave your house to go. I mean, it's fun to go to the movie theater, but, when you're home and you're like, hey, I'm bored, I want to watch something, find something good to watch on Netflix or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to change out of my pajamas.
Exactly.
Even better.
And the food is even cheaper.
Yeah. It's I don't have to put on shoes.
Right, Brittany, you said, you can pause.
You can pause if you have to go to the bathroom and get refills.
Yep.
Yep.
Not going to miss anything.
You can rewind, you can put closed captioning on, you're all set.
Yeah.
This is
you don't have to worry about
You can text while you're watching a movie. Nobody's going to complain.
Yeah. Don't have to worry about parking.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, that's it mostly for news. A few other things to discuss real quickly. Last week, real quick, last Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. Chauncey and I went to a local brewery and got to see essentially a live podcast, I guess, performance. I don't know what the proper terminology is for when you see people do podcasting live. It's like, is it a performance, like a stage performance, or like a concert, or not entirely sure.
Whatever a stand-up comedian does, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know either. That's like a set, I think. So
yeah,
podcasting set. Anyway, it was Danny and Mike, Danny Tamborelli and Michael C. Morone, otherwise known as Pete and Pete for us 90s kids that grew up on Nickelodeon. They have got their own podcast that they've been doing for a while now called The Adventures of Danny and Mike. I'm sure it took them a very long time to come up with that title. But
very creative, fellas.
Yeah. But they were doing a small tour of various areas that they have not visited for the most part, because they're pretty much in either New York or LA. So they were in town last Wednesday, so Chauncey and I went, and it was quite fun, actually. They told stories. They showed some clips from Pete and Pete, and they taught, they give like some behind the scenes stuff. They did some improv. They answered audience questions, so it was quite fun. I don't know if I don't know if they have been recording them and they're going to release them, or if they're just, if you were there, great, you caught it. If you didn't, too bad. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think they've said one way or the other. I guess if it does end up out there, I'll share it once they do. So, but it was funny because we got there at a little after 8, and it was, the doors opened at 8 and the show was supposed to start at 9, so we got there a little after 8. And it was already pretty full, actually, of people. But we went in and sat at the bar and ordered some drinks and just kind of, chilled, and like, well, there's some seats open here at the bar, so we'll grab these and wait and see what happens. And we were standing there drinking our beers, and all of a sudden there's this person that's like, excuse me a moment, can I cut through here? And we're like, yeah, sure. It was Mike.
Nice.
He's like, I'm just trying to get to the hot sauce bottles here. I'm like, okay. He's like, I started doing this at a couple of shows ago, and they had stickers of him and Danny's faces. Some were like their actual faces, and some were cartoonized version of them. And he was sticking them on the hot sauce bottles. If you go to their Facebook page, Jeremy, their producer, put up a bunch of pictures, and one of them is actually the picture that Mike took at the show, and it's just a line of hot sauce bottles, and you can see where he's like, if there was like a guy fighting a bull, he would throw the sticker on like the bullfighter's face, so it would look like he's fighting a bull. But it was just kind of funny because we were just talking to him while he was putting these stickers on these hot sauce bottles.
This is how we advertise.
Yeah. So that was quite fun, and then he walked off once he was done, and Chauncey and I were just sitting there, and Chauncey's like kind of starstruck, and I was like, now you know what it's like when I go to conventions.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought Chauncey didn't get starstruck.
Yeah, he does a little.
It's like, did that just happen?
Yeah. Well, the 90s Nickelodeon shows, especially Pete and Pete and Salute Your Shorts, are like, yeah, he did not, unlike me, he did not spend a lot of his childhood in front of the TV. But when he did, the shows that he did watch have stuck with him since then. So, that, and he loves Home Alone. Those are some of his favorite movies to watch at Christmas time, and Mike was in the two Macaulay Culkin Home Alones. So.
Oh, right. He was the cousin or brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
cousin,
know
I
them
think.
by their lines, not what their names were, but yeah, he's the one that called Kevin a disease.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and then afterwards they had a meet and greet. So Chauncey got his the bottle from his Super Soaker 100, 1000, whatever. It's an old school Super Soaker. The water bottle part of it, he had them sign it, which was a first for both of them. Neither of them had ever signed a Super Soaker before, but they thought it was very cool. And then we got a picture with them, and I look like a dork, but whatever. So
it happens.
Yeah. But it was quite fun. It was quite fun it was 90s night. They've been calling it, and then after their show was done, I guess there was like a local band or whatever that took the stage afterwards, and they were singing like 90s songs, but they started their entire show with the theme song from Pete and Pete.
Nice. As it should be.
Yes. And then
Good move, guys.
Yeah, and then they were doing the Smashing Pumpkins and Nirvana and stuff like that. So, type music. So that was quite fun. Danny and Mike are super nice and super funny, and their producers, manager guy Jeremy, is a cool dude too. So it was quite fun, and I wore my Power Rangers t-shirt. Because that was
hey,
very
90s night, it works.
Yeah, it was a very 90s thing to have, and there were a lot of other people wearing 90s related t-shirts. So a lot of Nickelodeon. So having stores like Hot Topic and Box Lunch and stuff that are starting to release merchandise of stuff from the 90s, like Rugrats and Ren and Stimpy and things like that. They're finally cashing in on our generation. So, hey kids, remember this?
Yeah, no, I have to tell another quick tangent. So my niece is 7, and my sister told me this that my sister told her that, oh yeah, I grew up in the 90s, and my niece just looked at her like, oh my gosh, you did? What was it like? Like it was this great awe-inspiring thing, and it's like, I don't know, it was the 90s. We didn't know it was anything special.
Yeah.
But it was like, she said like it made me feel so old.
Yeah. Like, we watched stuff on tape.
We actually had to walk to the store to get videos.
We had dial-up per internet, no Wi-Fi.
Oh. If you actually had internet.
That too.
Oh, goodness.
There were no streaming services to be heard of?
Nope. If you missed a show, you either taped it or you missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Or waited for reruns.
Yeah. That could take ages.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they just happen to skip the episode that you missed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's happened to me on a couple of occasions. Seriously?
Oh. So that was fun. Made me feel young and old all at the same time. So. And then just another quick thing, not necessarily fandom specific or anything, but Saturday we went to our friend Tony of Geeking in Indiana, Tony Troxel. As if you follow him or have heard us mention, his summer's not been the best. He and his girlfriend were hit by a car in early July, and they. It's not like they were in a car. They hit another car. A car hit them while they were outside their car. So thankfully, obviously, they're both alive. But Liz broke her leg. Tony cracked some ribs and some teeth, actually. So they've spent most of the summer recovering from that. And that was not long before Liz's 40th birthday. Sorry, Liz, for telling everybody how old you are. But so they still had a birthday party for her, but she wasn't as good as better. She's not in as good shape as she is now, which is she's still got a ways to go, but still. They decided, hey, we're going to try this again, have a get together with friends. So come on out to Tony's parents' place and, we'll have a pitch-in, we'll drink beers, we'll have a bonfire, we'll have the dogs, that sort of thing. His parents, we were hoping maybe it would be slightly warmer and his parents would still have their pool open, but alas, that was not the case. First day of fall actually felt like fall, surprisingly enough. So this time around, because we couldn't make it to Liz's birthday party, this time around we're like, yeah, sure, we can make it. That sounds awesome. We've got our Venn diagram of friends overlaps quite a bit. So we went out there, we ate food and had beverages and got to meet Tony's parents and their dog, and finally got to meet Tony's dogs, Tony and Liz's dogs that you see on the blog all the time. So the Geek Dog and BB-8, the newest acquisition to the Geeking in Indiana family. She's adorable. So we were just hanging out, talking to people, catching up. Some people we don't see outside of the convention circuit, so it was kind of fun to just kind of chill and hang out and not be like, okay, I got to get to a panel. Or, we had like half of the shake-ups there, and they're like, okay, we have to go do warm-up before our concert later. So we actually got to socialize and not have to be concerned about getting somewhere because we're at a con. At one point they gathered everybody together so Tony could say a few words, thank people for coming out, because it was kind of a drive. His parents kind of live out in the middle of nowhere, but that's what you got to do if you want a decent property with a nice quiet location, which was nice.
Get away from everything.
Get away from all the hustle and bustle of everything. So
I get that.
Yeah. So in the process of Tony thanking everybody for being there, he then proceeded to get down on one knee and ask Liz to marry him, and everybody's like, "Aww."
Everyone did that.
Yeah, everybody went, "Aww." We all figured, well, yeah, once you've been hit by a car, that kind of puts your priorities in order.
Yeah.
So kind of makes you realize what's important. So we all went, "Oh, that's so sweet," and then it proceeded to turn into a wedding.
Oh, wow!
That's like the fastest engagement to
I thought I'd heard of some fast engagements, but
well, the engagement was a formality, so they had already planned it to be a wedding, but they did the engagement because I think they thought maybe his parents suspected maybe he would propose at the party. But then
they wanted to surprise everybody.
And then they wanted to surprise everybody even further and turned it into a wedding. So she had a dress.
Stay for the engagement.
Yeah.
Here for the engagement, stick around for the wedding.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much.
Hey, you know what? having planned a wedding about less than 3 years ago, or 3 years ago, I was in the middle of planning a wedding. I think that's probably a good way to do it.
Yeah. So they quickly changed clothes. They had some friends that were there that were in on it, including the guy that ended up officiating it. So they already had the marriage license and a cake and everything. So quick, fun ceremony. I don't know if it was intentional, but Liz walked down the aisle to the proclaimers, "I will walk 500 miles." David Tennant would approve, I think.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So it was really sweet. Short, which is how I like most wedding ceremonies. So I tried to make mine as short as possible. It's like I'm in this dress, I'm in heels, I'm not standing up here for very long. But of course there were lots of nerdy references in the officiant's speech in the ceremony, including Doctor Who references. So yeah. Went to a party, turned into an engagement party, turned into a wedding within a matter of minutes. So, but I just want to say, not that we didn't say congratulations then, but because there were other podcasters there that were like, "Can I mention this on my show?" And Tony's like, "Sure." I'm like, "Hey, I'll mention it too." So you get mentioned on your nuptials get mentioned on at least 2 podcasts. So a big congratulations to Tony and Liz.
Guys. Congratulations.
So it was adorable. It was very cute, and there was cake. So everybody wins.
Hey, anytime there's cake.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
There was cake and there was puppies. What more do you want?
Exactly. Good combinations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, and that is it for the news. Oh, one piece of housekeeping. I know. Looking at the calendar, September's almost over. We've not mentioned it. We will be doing the 31 Days of Halloween. I've got the list. I will post it probably once this show goes up. So stay tuned to our website for the this year's prompts. You'll probably see a lot of
about that today.
Yeah.
Like, are we doing that this year?
Yes. I thought about that the other day, and I was like, oh, crap, the month's almost over. Well, it's a good thing I have last year's prompts. I can replace a few of them and rearrange the order, and I would say nobody would know, but considering I just said it on the podcast, everybody will know. But anyway.
We'll still have fun with it regardless.
Yes.
Exactly. And there's a few days left to make your book choice for next month's book on the Goodreads Book Club poll.
Yep. And also don't forget to, if you're planning on attending or you know anyone who may want to attend, you can still buy your tickets for the Women in Podcasting Festival, which is happening the day before Doctor Who comes back. My talk may or may not involve Doctor Who, just for that very reason. Spoilers. When in Rome.
Good time to do it.
Yeah, really. It's like I planned it that way. Thanks, BBC.
They did it just for you.
Thank you, Chris Chibnall. So, yeah, but tickets still on sale. It's going to be, the venue is not very large, so it is limited on the number of people that the fire marshal will let in the door. So if you want to make sure you get in, get that ticket, because by the time the 6th rolls around, the you may show up and be like, I'm going to buy mine at the door, and the fire marshal's going to be like, nope, sorry. So there's that. Okay, let's draw some names. Oh, excuse me, I got so excited I'm choking.
Don't do that.
I know. We've not done this. I checked. Because I'm like, I know it's been a while since we've done this, but I hadn't realized how long. Last time we did this was August of last year.
Wow. Wait, was that my first one back after Alex was born?
I think so.
Oh. Yeah, because now that you said that, I'm like, yeah. And he's 13 months.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah. So I have added to the draw pile, though, because I was looking at the ones we've done and what we had left for slips of paper, and it was looking a bit thin. So I added like 40 names.
Wow. Somebody was funny.
Well,
we're gonna want to do this again, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, we've discovered some people, and there are some people that I'm like, why are they not listed? Why did we not have them already? So, like, you dum-dums, what were you doing? So, anyway.
I have no excuse.
Yeah, it's like, I got nothing, so.
We were distracted by other things.
Yes.
You know, it happens.
Yeah. All right. Unfortunately, I don't have a hat. All I have is the plastic bag that I normally keep these in, and so.
It works.
It's a bit small.
Fine with us. So just as a refresher to those who may be new and haven't heard us in the last 13 months.
Yeah, really.
We draw a name out of a hat. It's an actor or celebrity or somebody that is well known. We talk about them just kind of on the spot, and that's our topic for the week. So we kind of use this when we don't have like a show coming back or a movie out or some other or a guest lined up or something like that. So it's kind of it's a catch-all thing, and it's kind of enjoyable. So hopefully our listeners enjoy it as well.
Yeah. So I've got our first victim. I mean celebrity. Depends on how we feel about them. Some of these people's reputations may have changed since we put their names in. Who knows?
Oh, that's true. Well, okay. Now you put it that way. I'm like, is it too late to back out?
No, it's fine. It's fine. So.
Is it though?
Yeah. Well, in this case, yes.
Okay.
Although this person does have a reputation, but it's kind of old, so I guess I don't think any of us really care about it. So anyway, so people are going to be like, "What the heck?"
Spit it out.
Yeah. So our first celebrity is Jude Law. And crickets. Okay.
Wait, I didn't even hear who you said.
Yeah, I didn't hear.
I think Skype flipped out.
Oh,
for a
okay.
second.
Take two.
Take two.
Drum roll. Okay. Cut the drum roll so you can actually hear me. So.
Okay. I was cutting it. Gosh.
We've lost it.
I'm
Anyway.
going to wait another year to do this one again.
It's going to be another 13 months before we do this again. So, hope you enjoy it while it lasts. It's going to be a while. Anyway, our first celebrity is Jude Law.
Oh, hey.
Speaking of Captain Marvel, among other things.
Well, isn't he in the next Fantastic Beasts movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that trailer has been teased today,
tomorrow.
So
Yes.
there you go.
And in currently production, Sherlock Holmes 3 with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
So.
And he was in the Christmas movie The Holiday with Jack Black and...
What's her face from Titanic?
Yes, Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet. Cameron Diaz.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that movie once.
It's good.
Don't think I've seen it at all.
I watch it. It's kind of it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah. It's a rom-com, but it's not a rom-com that makes you kind of want to puke. So, which most rom-coms make me want to puke. So, so yeah, Jude Law. He's one of those British actors that has kind of been around and just kind of like popped out one day, you know, with a bigger role, and people kind of went, "Whoa, where'd he come from?" And then you realize he'd actually been around for a while.
Oh, you're that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think at least for the U.S., I think probably his first big breakout role was in The Talented Mr. Ripley, which was all the way back in 1999.
Yeah.
Which I've not seen. So I have.
I have either.
Yeah, I have seen Enemy at the Gates, where he played a Russian sniper.
Right. That's a good one.
Chauncey made me watch that a couple of years ago. He loves war movies, so he's like, "Let me show you this one." So if you like war period, war type movies, that's a good one. Yeah, World War I, World War II, that sort of thing. Trying to get his kind of filmography here.
Yeah, he was in The Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow with Angelina Jolie.
Which
I haven't seen
that
it.
didn't
I hope
do
that's
too
good.
well, did it? I thought it was kind of
It was all right.
panned, I think.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. It was on my list to watch, but I just haven't got my way to it.
Yeah. He's done kind of like all sorts of kind of genres. It's like The Talented Mr. Ripley is kind of like a not a spy movie, but
Mystery, suspense.
mystery, yeah, kind of movie. Obviously, Enemy at the Gates, that's a war movie. Road to Perdition, which I think is a gangster movie.
Yep.
Yeah, with Tom Hanks. Yep. Cold Mountain, which is another kind of period, I think. He did the remake of Alfie, which I don't think went over too well. He played.
Soundtrack was decent, but
Yeah.
movie.
He played Errol Flynn in The Aviator,
He was in Artificial Intelligence.
which I've not seen either. He did He did a version of Lemony Snicket. He
Oh
was
yeah,
in-
the first one.
Yeah.
The first.
Yeah, the Jim Carrey one. He played Lemony Snicket. So,
That's right.
yeah.
I remember that now.
Mhm.
So it's, if I remember, a smaller part than in the new
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah. And The Holiday, the Imaginarian of Dr. Parnassus. He was one of the people that helped step in after Heath Ledger died. So I have seen that. Actually, the way that they made that work, going from Heath Ledger to the different other actors that played the same character, was actually done fairly well. If you didn't know the story of why they had to do that, it fits into the plot actually really well. And of course the Sherlock Holmes movies with Robert Downey Jr. He plays Dr. John Watson to Robert's very, very eccentric Holmes.
Oh yeah, you could actually talk about this now because you finally seen
I
them.
know, I've seen them. Which when I watched him, I hadn't put two and two together that in my Marvel folks who Marvel alumni watch that technically he counts because he's going to be in Captain Marvel. So
Well, does that count? Is he alumni yet, or do we have to wait until?
well, I mean the movie's been filmed, so
Yeah, I mean they're working on it, and so
yeah.
True. I'm just. I don't know what I'm doing.
no, you're good.
Being silly.
Yeah. It still counts in my book. So, and then he's playing young, and some would argue hot, Dumbledore in Fantastic Beasts. So.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. That is, yeah. It's definitely going to be fun to watch him and that, and just based on what we've seen in the trailers, that his relationship with Newt is going to be hilarious. So, and then Captain Marvel, which will be out next spring. So, which they're keeping kind of a tight lid on who exactly he's playing. All they've really said is that he is going to be her mentor. A lot of people think he's going to play Marvel, the first person to hold kind of the Captain Marvel type mantle. Mm-hmm. But depending on what they do with the plot, that he may actually be like an amalgamation of a couple of different characters. So we probably aren't really going to know until we actually see the movie and see how the plot plays out. So
yeah.
So, and then a couple of years ago, he did a series called The Young Pope.
I wanted
which looked really weird, but it got really good critical reviews. Not that that really means much to us, because we don't really care what the critics say.
I remember the commercials for that. It looked like I wanted to try it out, but I didn't.
Yeah.
He also voiced a character in Rise of the Guardians, which that was a really good movie. Anyone remember seeing it?
I saw it once, and I remember parts of it. I don't remember all of it. But yeah.
So for the time that he's been around, he's got a decent amount of credits to his name, but like I say, they really did not, I think, come into mainstream till The Talented Mr. Ripley, so at least for us US folks.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably well known in the UK before that. So that's what we get for being separated by body water. Apparently his parents were both teachers. He has a sister named Natasha, and he was named after a bit of both the book Jude the Obscure and the Beatles song Hey Jude.
Oh, I like him even more because that's like my favorite Beatles song.
So yeah, Jude Law. So should we do another one?
Yes, let's do another one.
Odds are it's probably going to be someone with a Marvel tie, considering that's a really big universe. There's a lot of crossover.
Yeah, I was looking at the list. I'm like, I forgot how many of these have been in Marvel movies.
Who can we connect to Jude Law? If possible.
Probably pretty easy if you just take they're getting stuck together.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I don't want 12. I just need one. Do I need to flour this paper so it doesn't stick together?
Maybe.
Do it like noodles or something? So, all right. Our next person is another Brit, another man. It is
the Marvel guy.
No.
Oh.
Another big franchise, though. He has ties to another big franchise, though. Oh, Ewan McGregor.
Oh! Nice. Like, what am I
I was kind of thinking, Could it be? The one that
one of my favorites.
I guess technically he's a Scot, not a Brit, but sorry.
Well, Scotland's part of Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So he has sometimes Ewan McGregor gets confused for Jude Law and vice versa.
that is true. That is actually true.
Just read that he was a former roommate. I can't talk. I'm sorry. They were former roommates.
Wow.
Yeah, like I was just on like the trivia of Jude Law, and former roommate of Ewan McGregor and Johnny Lee Miller, who played Sherlock Holmes in Elementary.
Wow.
That's fun.
That's fun.
You know, Hollywood is actually a very small place. There's all kinds of connections.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ewan McGregor. First saw him in the Star Wars prequels. Hands down, my favorite part of those movies.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I adore him. And I was really happy to see that he was going to play Christopher Robin, which I still haven't seen.
I've seen it. It is so cute.
I am like dying because I'm like I still haven't seen it.
It's
and I
so
want to.
cute.
I have a gift card to go to the movies and go see it. But yeah, he's wonderful. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't know if you've seen the movie The Island. It's
yes.
Okay. That he was the reason I went and saw that movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, the more I think about that movie, or when I do think about that movie, I'm like, that movie kind of doesn't make a lot of sense, but it does. But I don't care because Ewan McGregor's in it and he's awesome.
That's the one with the clones and Scott Johansson in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're
clones. Yeah, they're clones, and they're told that they're like, you know, going somewhere to populate the Earth, but they're really like clones of people that are, you know, they want the spare organs so they can harvest them, or you know, there's the women that don't want to have babies, but they want a baby, so they clone themselves, and the clone has the baby. But yeah, and there's all kinds of like ethical questions that come up and bring it up, but mostly it's an action flick. Yeah, he was pretty good in it, and so he plays the clone, and he plays the guy who bought the clone, and so he kind of gets to play kind of a villainous character a little bit. Although I don't know, it's okay, more of an antagonist. I wouldn't say villain, but kind of situation is the villain. But no, it's you know, it's a decent popcorn flick, not the greatest thing ever made, but but he's the reason I went and saw it in theaters. And Scarlett Johansson's in it too. She plays the other clone that.
Oh, there's your Marvel tie-in then.
Yeah, there's your Marvel tie-in. Yeah, she plays the other clone that escapes with him, and because she's getting shipped off because her owner was in a car accident and they have to harvest her organs to save her. And there's a bit where the clone talks to her owner's son, and her son is like, "Mom, are you there? Mommy," and you know, she's actually in the hospital dying, and you're just like, oh gosh, that's like the most heartbreaking part of the movie. Mm-hmm. To me anyway. I don't know, and I thought that long before I had a kid. So anyway, I mean, I don't think it's you know, highly thought of in you know, critics and such, but I don't know. It's like, yeah, if you're bored and want to watch something and it's on, sure.
Like, I remember liking it when I saw it, but I also I don't think I've seen it since when it was new.
Yeah, it's been a while since it was a thing. And I wonder if I'm sure it's based on like a work of science fiction that's much better written than made into a movie. But anyway,
probably.
Now I've got to look that up. I'm like, huh. Of all the things Ewan McGregor's been in, I'm fixated on The Island, and all of a sudden it came out in 2005. Oh, Michael Bay directed it. That's why it's all explosions.
That makes sense.
It's all a question right there.
Yeah.
Try not to let that.
Although Alex Kurtzman was a co-writer on the screenplay, I know that name.
Yeah, it does sound familiar.
He did some of the new Star Trek. He was a producer on the reboot of Star Trek, 2009.
That would be it.
And he did work on Alias and other stuff. But, yeah.
We're not talking about him. We're talking about Ewan McGregor.
No, we're not. I'm looking him up. It's like, who else?
Yeah.
Who else what else is he in?
Star Wars is the biggest one. I mean, I saw Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge, yes.
When it first came out in theaters, which I've always coincidence probably, I'm sure, on although it may have been not from, but I after watching the Clone Wars, even though Ewan McGregor doesn't voice Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars cartoons, they're all voice actors. They're not they're not their live action counterparts doing the voices for the cartoon. But in the Clone Wars, which in the live action Star Wars, Obi-Wan's played by Ewan McGregor, but in the Clone Wars cartoon series, Obi-Wan has this kind of love-hate relationship with this politician / queen, whatever, I'm not sure exactly what her title is, named Satine. And in Moulin Rouge, Ewan McGregor's character falls in love with a performer in a can club in the Moulin Rouge named Satine.
Okay, that has to be. Yeah, that had to be deliberate.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another movie I went to see because he was in it, and I don't remember anything else about the movie. It was Big Fish. And it's kind of this surreal, weird. It's a Tim Burton movie, but like this old man is dying, and he tells all these stories about. He tells all these stories about his growing up, and they're big fish stories, which basically means they're really exaggerated. So there's all this kind of fantastical stuff going on in sort of a normal, everyday, life kind of a thing. And he plays the younger version of the man who's dying. So it's kind of kooky, kind of fun.
And then he was, most recently, he was in the live-action Beauty and the Beast. Or more recently, as the voice of Lumiere. Which I'm sure a lot of people, when they announce that, they're like, what? And then, those of us that had seen Moulin Rouge are over here like, he can sing!
No problems about that.
Yep.
Okay, I'm laughing because there's this movie that has no information to it, but it's pre-production called The Cow.
Yep.
And he's playing a character called Charlie Granger. I was like, wait a second now.
One of your relatives?
Yeah. Apparently. An American pilot is shot down in World War II and avoids capture from the Germans with the help of a cow. That's all there is to it. And it sounds intriguing, actually.
Well,
according to
pre-production. Yeah.
And then he was in the television series Fargo.
Oh, that's right. Which I haven't seen.
And like every person from the UK, he has done a theater production of a Shakespeare play. In 2007, he did a production of Othello. Because every actor worth their salt has to do Shakespeare at some point or the other.
Isn't that part of their I swear that has to be part of graduating from drama school in the UK.
I'm pretty sure it's a checkbox that just goes on their birth certificate.
Oh yeah.
Just automatically on the birth certificate, must do Shakespeare, whether they go into acting or not.
You gotta do it.
Gotta do the Shakespeare.
Yep. The one thing I do love though is because, ever since they started doing the Star Wars anthology movies that aren't part of the the episode trilogy things, whatever, and everyone said they need to do an Obi-Wan movie. They need to do an Obi-Wan movie. And every time like a meme, I'll see this meme that pops up on Facebook and it says actors who could play Obi-Wan Kenobi in an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, and it's 9 pictures of Ewan McGregor. And it's like, come on, do it.
Yes,
It's like I want that movie so much, and I feel like they've done a good job with the anthologies there, so much so I wish that's all they would do. But I'm like, come on, I want an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, because Obi-Wan and Yoda are my 2 favorite characters in Star Wars. I know a lot of people like Darth Vader and the Stormtroopers, and I do love Han Solo, but man, it's for me, it's Obi-Wan and it's Yoda. And I mean, I don't necessarily want a Yoda standalone movie, but man, an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie would be really, really fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so enjoyable. And to see him back in the role, I'm just like, guys, this is a sure thing. It's like, you already know he can play the part. He's done it before. He's young enough still. He can still do it. Do it. Come on.
I completely agree. And I'm not even that big of a Star Wars fan, but I would go see that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So it would be awesome.
I know. It's like, and to me, I'm like, okay, that one ought to be a no-brainer. I mean, yeah, people complain about the prequels for various reasons, but pretty much everybody says he did a good job as Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Just because, see, I hear people complaining about the prequels, but I've never heard anyone complain about Ewan McGregor being Obi-Wan. Like,
no, and it feels like he took it seriously, even when a lot of the other crazy weirdness was going on, and he just made it really good.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I'm up for seeing it. And you think about it, because not often, because that was a recast part, obviously, because he's playing the younger version of him. Alec Guinness had already played the part in the first movies, and so you kind of think like, oh, is this guy actually going to do a good job? And yeah, he did, and that doesn't often happen when it's kind of easy to screw that up. But no, if nothing else, he was an excellent young Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, because I mean, those are big Jedi robes to fill.
Yes,
not just shoes, but Jedi robes
even though,
to fill.
he's playing Obi-Wan as a Padawan and later as a Jedi Master, but as a younger version of him, it's still him.
Yeah.
So, and that I mean, maybe back then it wasn't that big a deal because the internet wasn't around and people weren't, or the internet as we know it wasn't around and people weren't speculating and thinking, oh gosh, what if this, what if that, blah blah blah. So there wasn't quite so much pressure, but there still had to be some.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. So
you know how you talked about how he was pretty serious about his role? I just read this. He studied Alec Guinness's films in preparation for his role, and to ensure accuracy in everything from his accent to the pacing of his words.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I probably should have.
Yeah. I'll have to see if I can find it. I watched a YouTube video of a like a linguistics expert that he critiqued actors' accents in different movies, and one of them was Ewan McGregor trying to emulate Alec Guinness, and he said it was pretty spot on. So
nice.
He did good.
Yes,
you did good, Ewan.
Yes,
yeah, just do it some more.
Not just in the eyes of the fans, but in the industry bigwigs saying, "Oh yeah, you know what you're doing."
Yeah.
So I'm like,
and
Disney, please.
I think for some people, the one complaint I've heard with the Obi-Wan anthology movie is, it's like, oh, what are they going to talk about? It's like, he went and dropped Luke off on Tatooine, and it was like he went and lived in the desert. What, but it's like 20 years pass from the time that he drops Luke off till we get to the start of episode 4. It's like, who knows what kind of adventures and stuff. It's not like he just went and sat in an armchair for the next 20 years, waiting for Luke to grow up so he could give him his father's lightsaber.
There actually is. Well, I mean, first off, there is a book called Kenobi, which I still haven't read, but I need to. But there's also a scene. There's a scene in, I want to say, Star Wars Rebels. I was like, it's not Clone Wars, it's the other one, the animated show. There's a scene where they actually do catch up with an older Obi-Wan, but not quite as old as the Alec Guinness one we see in A New Hope, where Darth Maul, spoilers, he survives.
Yeah.
Finds Obi-Wan and finds him out on Tatooine, and he's like, confronts him, and there's going to be like this whole big showdown because Darth Maul killed Obi-Wan's master.
Mm-hmm.
And Darth Maul kind of cottons on to, you're protecting someone out here. And Obi-Wan just doesn't say anything, but once he says you're protecting someone, that's when Obi-Wan draws his lightsaber. And it's like one of the best like lightsaber duels, and there's really not much to it because it all takes place. It's kind of like you see in those old westerns when the two guys show up for a duel at high noon, and they look at each other and they spend all this time going back and forth with the camera, and then all of a sudden they pull out the gun and go pew, and it's over in like a few seconds, but the whole fight was actually going on while they were staring each other down. It's kind of like that.
Cool.
And I'm like, look, you could do something with that. Maybe, I mean, maybe you don't want to do it exactly like the animated show do, but I'm sure there's people that were probably going to be looking for Luke, or like they stumble on him or something. I don't know. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you could do stuff with that. Or if even if it's just he goes to Mos Eisley and almost gets caught by the Empire, like, here's a Jedi out here, so he has to learn how to be more careful or something. There's a lot of ways they could go with it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to think because I know the clip is on YouTube. I'd have to find it, but it's really short and it's really good. Let's see, Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul.
Mm.
So I just read that he he toned down the lead role in The Matrix.
Wow.
Yeah, due to his commitment to Star Wars. Which, I mean, I love him in Star Wars, but now I'm thinking him as Neo, that would have been interesting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have him as Obi-Wan.
Same.
Yeah, I'm on the Obi-Wan train.
Yeah.
Oh, he was also looked at for Ocean's 11. Don Cheadle's role.
Oh, okay.
Some people probably would have liked that better. Some people hate Don Cheadle's accent in the Ocean's movies.
That happens.
Yeah. Oh my.
Well, apparently he was an original choice to play Adolf Hitler.
In what?
For what movie?
In a movie called Hitler: The Rise of Evil, 2003. I've never heard of it, but the role
I haven't heard of it either.
The role went to Robert Carlyle.
Carlisle.
Carlyle, thank you. Like I can't talk today.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Uh-huh.
Huh. Yep. Interesting.
That's a TV miniseries.
Yep. Maybe it was something that was in the UK.
Probably.
Uh-huh.
Probably.
Canada, actually, sounds like.
Eh.
Oh.
It's probably still a UK production. It's probably just filmed in Canada because it's cheaper.
It was on CBS, apparently, according to IMDb.
Oh, well, that explains it. I don't watch much CBS.
I think Ewan's just one of those actors that, like, he's really good, but he doesn't he's not like a super big star, I think. Yeah. Like
it's
he's good. He's really good at what he does, but he's not like, he's not a Robert Downey Jr. or a Benedict Cumberbatch where it's like, I'm here.
Right. It's like
Watch
there's
me.
Speaking of Benedict Cumberbatch, he was considered for the role of Doctor Strange. and Scott Lang in Ant-Man.
So maybe he's trying to get into the Marvel universe and he just hasn't found the right role yet.
It's only a matter of time. That the rate they're making movies, it's not going to take long before he makes his way over. Yeah, he'll find his spot, his role eventually, even if it's something not necessarily a hero. He could do pull like a Martin Freeman and be type role.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you can say you're now part of the MCU. I mean, he's already part of Star Wars, so.
I mean, he's been in 2 of the big Disney-based franchises. Why not get for the 3rd one?
Yeah.
Star Wars and Disney itself.
Yep.
Why not MCU?
Exactly.
Just give him time. Just give him time. Oh. Anyone have anything else to say about Ewan McGregor? Other than he's awesome?
He's awesome, and they need to make an Obi-Wan movie.
Yes.
That's all. I'm petitioning for that.
Please and thank you.
I mean,
Shut up
if
and take
Disney
my
has
money.
any concerns about how the rate, or the direction Star Wars is going, and people being split on a few things, if they make an Obi-Wan movie, I won't say all is forgiven, but I will say much will be forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
In the words of Natasha Romanoff, you got red in your ledger, we can help you wipe it out.
Indeed.
Oh, my. Well, I think we're good.
Yeah.
I think that was good
Yeah.
for this week.
I believe so. That's a fun one. I like doing the names out of a hat. Kind of makes you think on your feet
Yeah.
a bit.
We're all going to Wikipedia and IMDB going, oh crap, what have they been in?
Yeah, it's like,
What year was that?
I know, because it's like we say these names and like with Ewan McGregor, like Obi-Wan or Christopher Robin, because those are recent, or even Beauty and the Beast. But I'm like, okay, what else has he been in? I know he's been in more stuff that I've actually seen. Yeah, I had to go back. I had to go back a bit, but you know what? It was worth it.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Or you lay by some of those old gems, like, oh, I remember watching that one, Ewan McGregor and Brassed Off. That was a good one. It's farther down on the bottom of the IMDb, but worth the watch if you can find it.
it's fun, like watch these movies and shows before they got big, and you didn't know you knew them, and like going back to watch them now, it's like, oh, he was in that. I see it now.
Or if we pull someone and one of us has seen, something that they were in and the rest have it, and you're like, oh yeah, they were in this. Go watch it. It's really good. Which is another fun thing about doing this too. So right. Well, if any of our listeners want to comment on their 2 cents about either of the gentlemen that we drew this week.
Yes. You can, we'd like our listeners to send us feedback if you have any of your thoughts about what our topic or any other topic we've done. You can send us an email. Our email address is 5ishfangirls@gmail.com. You can also visit our website, which is the5ishfangirls.com, and that has links to all of our social media, Facebook being the main one. We also have a YouTube channel and Instagram, where you can, a lot of people leave comments there, and we'll read those out as feedback as well if you leave them, and just kind of use those to check up on what we're doing and how things are going and all kinds of stuff. You can also download us from iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play. So so those are all places you can get us, and you can also listen to us on YouTube. You can also support the podcast through our Patreon, through our shirt shop. And we have more than shirts. I actually carry around a tote bag with our logo on it. And also our Amazon store. And so if you're shopping at Amazon, anyway, just go to our link first, and then that will kick you over to Amazon. You can shop as normal, and we get a little bit of a referral bonus for that. Doesn't cost you anything. You get your shopping done, and everybody wins. So, and as always, thank you to our supporters, whether you support us through Patreon or other means. We are very grateful for everything you guys do for us, and thanks for being around. It's down to you guys, in large part, that we are at episode 201. So, thanks, you guys. Big internet hugs and high fives for everybody. Hope you continue to enjoy us.
Yay. Alrighty then. Well, with that, we shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Bethlehem saying goodnight.
This is Chrissy saying goodnight from Salt Lake City.
This is Holly from Wisconsin saying good evening.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. In the off chance that they do release the audio from the Danny and Mike show, I'll leave you with this inside joke that's an inside joke for now. Peaches for seniors.
Now I have to know.
You have been listening to the 5-ish Fangirls podcast. You can find more episodes and information at the5ishfangirls.com. Any and all books, movies, games, and any other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied. If you wish to support the show, the easiest way is to leave us a rating and review on iTunes. More ratings and reviews will make it easier for others to find the show. If you wish to support us monetarily, you can do so at patreon.com/5ishfangirlspodcast. All money goes towards fees and equipment to keep the show going. For official 5-ish Fangirls merchandise, visit redbubble.com/people/5ishfangirls. We love hearing from our listeners and encourage feedback. You can email us at 5ishfangirls@gmail.com. You can also like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/5ishfangirls. Thank you so much for listening, and may the squee be with you.